Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of No Thank You. Last time we what did we do last time? We had relations with Hiro, but then he was a little bit not willing to return the favor. Then Haru got really angry and kind of big R-E. Um And now we found Hiro's twink friend's older brother, and we're trying to convince him to come to the shop with us.
とりあえずまっすぐ店に戻ってこい。あまり人に見られるな。
わかりました。
Hiroshi hung up and got out of the car. The brother was still dawdling outside. Hiroshi went around the car to where he was standing and opened the door to the back seat.
とりあえず涼しいところに移動しましょう。はい。
The brother announced to Hiroshi softly but with resolve.
困ってたんだ。
いえ、奴らより先に見つけられてよかったです。
Hiroshi gave a nice but bashful smile as he pointed into the car.
さあ、行きましょう。
The brother didn't argue and obediently got in the car. We took off. I thought to myself as I looked up at the sky through the car's windows. Hiroshi's probably the only one who could have resolved a situation like this. Well, let's not suck his D right now or anything. It would have been impossible for, well, yeah, definitely Maki-chan, or even Ryu. Hiroshi's such a nice guy. He's a nice guy and he's super cool. Gay, gay, gay. Very gay. We brought the brothers back to the bar. The bar had already closed and everyone was gathered inside. We headed into the office right away to discuss what we'd do next. First, we started by getting the brother's story. He explained that after our raid the other day, he thought things were getting dangerous. So yesterday morning he saw an opportunity when he went out to a convenience store to buy some things and escaped. He said he saw an opportunity, but he probably just ran on a whim. He seems pretty incompetent, so I can't imagine he did any planning. He managed to get away by train, but he'd only just started working at the hideout. So he hadn't been paid yet, and he was thinking about what he could possibly do without any money. Well, less thinking about it, and more like at a total loss as to what to do. Everything about him was for show, from the way he talked to his attitude. I get the impression that he'd just been going through the motions. Dude, would these people even care enough to try to find him down? He literally apparently started working there like 2 days ago. Do they even care? I'm getting the impression that this is not actually as big of a deal as we're making it. After he finished giving us his version of events, Pops asked...
誰かに見られたか？
誰かって、見張りの連中にだったら見られてないし、見つかってないと思いますけど。
それで、これからどうするんですか？
Pop stroked his chin when Hiroshi posed the question.
少なくとも警察に通報案は無理だな。
やっぱりそうですか。
この状況で彼を出頭させても、後々面倒なことになるだろう。一旦元に戻して捕まえさせても、彼が密告したからだと思われる可能性がある。
もちろん、ただ家に帰すわけにもいきませんしね。
だとしたら、俺たちがこいつをさらったと思わせるのがいいだろうな。
そしてチンピラたちに見捨てさせるんですね。
ああ、そうだ。
We've got a plan. Next we need to come up with a reason to justify kidnapping him and raiding the hideout. We probed him for details to make sure he was in a position where they could just forget about him.
言っても、知ってることなんて。
He mumbled out an explanation. First, his partner in the DVD burning job told him not to watch the movies, so he didn't. Not to watch the movies? They were just hentai, right? I'm confused. If they're just hentai, then why is it such a big deal if you watch them or not? I don't get it. Because I thought they were hentai because Pop said something like there'd be no problem with these movies if they were just censored. And it's like if it's actual, you know, real videos of real people, you know, being abused, then obviously that wouldn't matter if it's censored or not. It'd be illegal either way, so I don't get it.
あの薬とか手出すやつはアホだ。
I don't think I even read that. Something about drugs. He said, but it was painfully clear that he was just bluffing. He's probably just a wuss and was too scared to try it.
薬の出所はわかるか？
さあ、あの薬ならロムの搬入と焼いたディスクの回収の時に適当に持ち込まれてたから俺に入手先なんてわからないし。あ、でも相方はやってたよ。
なんて言ってた？
あまり乱用するとおかしくなって捨てられるけど適度に使ってれば平気だし気持ちいいとかなんとか。あいつはいろいろ鈍いから動画とかも平気で見てたし俺はずっと見てなくてあそこが襲われた後引っ越ししたばかりでバタバタしてる頃に動画をうっかり見ちゃって。
動画にビビった。
So that's why he ran.
別に女の焼いてるなんて終わってるし俺的にも頃合いだと思ったんだよ。
He seemed a little irritated, and as usual was putting on a brave front.
とにかくバックの組織とか名前とか全然知らないしちょっと危ない DVD だってことは聞いてたけどあんな頭おかしい内容とかついこの前まで知らなかったし俺はただあいつの説明通りに焼き増ししてただけで。
なるほど、よくわかった。
Looks like it was basically within Pop's and Ryu's expectations. They just exchanged a few glances before heading swiftly into the next subject.
これを使って奴らを脅迫する。
Pop said, taking out a voice changer.
おっさんいつも持ってるの？
そんなわけあるか。お前たちがこいつを連れに行ってる間に用意したんだ。アジトを襲ったりこいつをさらった犯人は後先考えないアホなガキどもの薬欲しさの犯行に見せかける。
Pops continued his explanation thusly. Recently, these dumb kids had heard that money and drugs were in the hideout, so they attacked it, but they didn't find as much as they'd been expecting. So they took the brother hostage in an attempt to extort more money and drugs. The person we'd be delivering the threat to is his partner because he doesn't have a phone number for anyone else in the organization. Ryu took his phone from him and handed it to me.
お前がかけろ。
ね、俺がやっていいの？
ああ、喋り方がアホなガキそのものだからな。
頑張ります。
皮肉も通じないのか。
I'm an idiot after all. I took the phone from Ryu, the voice changer from Pops, and a piece of paper with the threat written on it from Renren. And then the brother gave me his partner's name.
カキピ
Peanuts.
え、それが名前なの？だったら俺豆大福でもよかったんじゃない？
本名じゃないだろうそれ。ハンドルネーム。あだ名みたいなものだ。
なるほど。
But isn't my name basically a nickname too? Well, I like the name I was given better anyway. I like this name of mine.
さっさとやれ。
はい。
I worked the phone and called my brother's friends.
おい、海かお前。
カキピーだな。お前らの仲間は預かった。返して欲しかったら現金300万と薬をよこせ。お前らの新しい味とは分かっているし、やってることの証拠も握っている。拒否するなら仲間と証拠を警察に突き出すぞ。11時間後にまた連絡する。
That's a weirdly specific amount of time. It was a one-sided call. I just spelled out your demands and our demands and hung up.
これで多分雇い主に連絡が行くだろう。
襲われたばかりですし、新しいアジトには見張りにチンピラがいるかもしれませんしね。
そうだな。
応じてくれますかね。このまま放置して見捨てるとか。
ああ、向こうはこいつを惜しいとは思っていないだろうが、 こっちの正体を探るためと、あとは制裁するために要求に応じたふりをするだろう。まあそれがこっちの狙いなんだが。
取引の場所には誰が行きますか？
ああ、ひろゆきと春に行ってもらう。年格好を考えるとお前たちがいいだろう。それからサポートでマキ。店はどうする？開けるか？
はい。
You nod as if it was the only, as if it were only natural, and Pop smiled.
そうか。じゃあお前とレンの二人で大変だろうがよろしく頼む。
Everyone nodded.
裏稼業とお店両立させるの大変だね。
こんな忙しいことはそうそうないけどな。
お前たちがいなくてもこちらはどうとでもなる。さあ、
わかりました。
はい。
Maki-chan didn't really respond much as usual. His body might be big, but he might as well be thin air.
それじゃ一旦解散だ。とりあえずみんな休んでくれ。
Pops looked at the older brother.
お前は人質役だからこのまま風呂に入らずにいてもらう。もうちょっとの辛抱だから我慢しろ。
Don't bathe or anything.
はい。
Just keep cultivating that musk.
じゃあまた後でな。
Powerful, it's pungent, it's delicious. The brother looked at Hiroshi without saying a word, then left the bar with Pops.
お前たちも早く帰れ。
はい
はい。
Hiroshi and I left the bar after Pops, and the brother did. We walked together. Hiroshi wasn't very talkative. He's probably stressed and worrying about his friend and his friend's brother. Anyway, about 12 hours from now, it was 11 hours. We'll have our final showdown with these thugs. I'm gonna get all fired up. You were very specific about the 11 hours. Very odd. Uneven. We were waiting for the thugs at the designated location. We had some weapons with us, metal bats and stuff. Pops just gave us some things that were unlikely to kill anyone. You can kill someone with a metal bat. Though it's not really that hard to kill someone with a bat. Exactly. Hiroshi and I concealed our faces a bit. We were wearing dark clothes too, but we had to make ourselves look like a couple of dumb kids. If we were too careful about hiding our faces, it wouldn't seem right. So what's our goal here right now? What are we trying to do? And we already have the brother. What are we trying to do right now? We have the brother between us, his arms lightly bound. He hasn't bathed, so he's pretty sweaty and tired looking. It's not an act. He really is worn out from escaping from the hideout and us finding him, and he really is scared of them. Right after Hiroshi checked the time, a car drove up and stopped a little ways from us. Oh, people poured out of the car. There were a lot of them. They seemed to have some dangerous things. They weren't local thugs. They seemed to be masters of shadiness, and they clearly had a different disposition. I could barely hear the shady guys talking in the distance. I had my good ears in the direction of the wind to thank for that. It definitely wasn't Japanese they were speaking. The thugs were keeping an eye on us from behind. There's no way they considered us particularly formidable opponents, but they treat every threat seriously. In other words, the men behind us were professionals.
おいおい、二人だけかや。
しかもガキだし、こりゃ人数集めすぎたな。
They're professionals, alright. They were nothing like local thugs cracking jokes in front of us. Were they nothing like that? They sounded awful like that. The brother was clearly looking unwell, but I'll just have to hang in there a little longer. I took a step forward without hesitation. Of course they couldn't see who I was because I was in shadow.
金は持ってきたか。薬でもいいぞ。
I was really getting dragged into it, but I could feel Hiroshi's frustrated gaze. Of course it wasn't obvious enough for the thugs to get suspicious. The thugs in front of us took the bait.
なわけねえだろうが。なめんなよこれ。
They had a lot of practice with this type of intimidation tactic and looked us over. I grabbed the brother from behind me and from behind me by his bound arms and shoved him in front.
こっちには人質がいるんだぞ。人質の命が惜しくないのか。
I acted like I was going to hurt him, but the thugs just kept smiling.
人質の命が惜しくないかだってよ。
いやー、困ったね。
As far as the thugs were concerned, the brother was just a worthless pawn. One of them called someone on his cell phone.
ガキのいたずらみたいっすね。捕まえていきます。はい。
He was speaking politely. It was probably their boss on the other end of the line, or someone important at least.
よし、捕まえるぞ。
The thugs all nodded. They all cracked their knuckles for show. I might have been pretty worked up, but so were they.
殺しはしねえが、ちょっと痛い目見てもらわねえとね。
I was still ready and raring to go, but I took a step back to feign terror. This is kind of fun.
俺たちが帰らないと証拠品が警察に届くぞ。
I shouted as a threat, but the thugs just smiled like everything was right as rain.
やれるもんならやってみろ。
The thug's shout seemed to be the signal, and they all jumped at us at once. I pushed the brother out of the way, letting Hiroshi take care of him behind me. Then I pulled the pin from the stun grenade and tossed it at them. Okay, so we just have stun grenades now. Okay. I don't know where we're getting this military grade this military grade crap, but fine. The flash bomb I tossed at them made a really bright flash, blinding the thugs. It's just designed to distract, so it's non-lethal, but it was the real deal. How did Pops get his hands on this? Is it really okay to have this? We ran into the abandoned building while the thugs were blinded, and the brother hit himself during the confusion like we discussed in the meeting. Alright man, you did a good job for a shut-in. Or maybe you were just scared crapless. Once we confirmed the brother was safe, Hiroshi and I checked on the thugs from our cover. The thugs were shaking their heads and holding their eyes. They stumbled for a bit but recovered fairly quickly.
周りには何もない。ここから歩いて逃げることはできねえだろうが、車は用意しとけ。出口と念のために外も見張ってろ。
くさい。ガキが舐めやがって。じっくりいたぶってやる。
The enraged thugs started to chase after us. I ran around the abandoned factory, making weird shouts occasionally. Most people will intuitively try to follow voices. The effect should be especially strong with these thugs since they're seeing red already. I guess the abandoned factory was being used for storage because all sorts of bits of wood and tools were haphazardly piled up all around. I gently tugged on one of the piles of wood that was on the verge of collapse, and a bunch of scraps of woods and various other things rained down on the thugs. I didn't really set up any serious booby traps because it would draw too much attention, so I just set up a few childish traps. It's nighttime and there's no electricity. They don't have flashlights or anything, so I was having fun leading them around by the nose. I waved my hands and waited, then the thugs came running over. I waited until the last second and yes, now! I used a makeshift fuse to send some bottle rockets flying in the direction of the thugs. What the heck are you even doing? This is so much fun. It's all fun and games until one of the thugs takes out a Glock. I was running around in high spirits, pissing off the thugs, and Hiroshi followed me, a little timid. It's not like we're here to punish them or anything, so I'm just gonna confuse them, and then I hid in the shadow of a pile of machinery that worked as a nice blind spot. Then I peered out towards the entrance, and there they were. It was the guy who made the phone call earlier. Exactly. Oh my god. Okay, so is someone just gonna die if I don't hit no thank you this time? Because I'm still just shook that someone died last time. Hiroshi did. Like, what is this no thank you related to? I don't know. The guy who seemed different from the local thugs entered the building. I preferred if they all came in, but... So what's the no thank you relate to? No thank you what? What will happen if I click no thank you? See, this is why this bothers me. It doesn't... There's no indication what clicking no thank you here is going to do. Oh, he noticed me. He doesn't sound scared, but Hiroshi is okay. Would we have just run away? I don't... It's given me no indication what clicking no thank you would do. Like, that's just not... That's bad game design. There's no way around it. Hiroshi moved first. I got up just about the same time. The two shady dudes and local thugs slowly approached us. We maintained our distance, withdrawing bit by bit. They don't have guns, I think. They might have knives, though. We retreated through a small opening in the pile of junk. The three of them circled us. Hiroshi and I stood back to back. Hiroshi made the first move. At the same time, I approached the thug in front of me. Just as I was about to reach out to strike him, I dropped down abruptly. I do have a cooler head than they do right now, but I'm also quite accustomed to fistfights. The thug was totally taken in by my feint, and I grabbed his legs and pulled him over. I knocked him out with a swift hit to the back of the head, and then I made him squirm with a swift kick to the balls. Alright, now he won't be able to move for a while. I looked over to Hiroshi. He was holding his own against the shady guys. Even if the knife flew at him, at Hiroshi at the same time. Before he could get up, I grabbed the rock I'd been hiding in my pocket and bashed one of the men in the back of the head. Are we just murdering people? Girl, you can murder someone with a rock to the back of the head. Strike. The man who took my perfect swing pitched forward. Hiroshi sidestepped the falling man. Then the other man read his movements and lunged at him with the knife. The knife raised the back of Hiroshi's hand and happened to pull off his mask at the same time. The next instant, I rammed this guy with the knife in the side. Hiroshi promptly grabbed the man's wrist as he fell and the knife went flying. Suddenly, the sounds of sirens filled the area. Who called the cops? Several police cars rushed into the area. Officers poured out of their vehicles. Okay. The shady dudes moved quickly. They escaped our grasp with all their might and escaped over the tall fence. They sure are agile. The thugs started running out of the building to escape. I could hear the thugs shout between the sirens. Hooray, we did it! While we were waiting it out in the abandoned factory, Maki-chan had taken the lookouts who were outside. Then he stole one of the cars for us to use to escape and rendered the remaining vehicle useless. Having given up on the car, the thugs tried to run away, but the slower ones were apprehended easily. The police rushed into the abandoned factory as well. We dropped the drugs we were carrying and ran out of the building. We got into the thug's car with Maki-chan at the wheel and sped off. We're gonna have a little high-speed police chase? Why didn't the police chase our car? Or the thug's car that we stole. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't. God, I really hate the moaning noises they do when you open up the game. Or the grunting noises. Whatever noises you want to call them. I hate it. Anyway. I only say that because I cut last recording session short. And now I'm just combining it with this one. That might seem a little bit weird to say right in the middle out of nowhere. Right in the middle of the video. We dumped the thug's cars somewhere and then the three of us walked off. Hiroshi whispered anxiously. God, I want to meet the person that actually likes Maki. Maki-chan ignored it and I just answered optimistically. Hiroshi still seemed worried and looked back a bit. We were already several miles away, so of course the abandoned factory wasn't visible, but Hiroshi still looked back. Several days later. I hummed Why Is It Blue like I've read it before. Weird. Okay, I guess. I was thinking that, since last time I had to hit no thank you to prevent Hiroshi's death, I thought maybe this time I don't have to hit it. Maybe this time I should ignore the no thank you button, because that will result in Hiroshi not dying. But nope, seems I just have to hit it. Oh my god, that is loud in my ears. Just... Yeah, let's just... Oh, no, we skipped a little too far ahead. Why is it skipping unread dialogue? There was white dialogue. Is that in the settings? Where would that be? Playstyle? Alright, it was on skip all. I don't think we really missed anything too important. It was probably nothing important. I don't care. Nothing much really seems like it changed. After that, the brother and most of the other people are arrested by the police. Pops told me what happened later. Wait, the brother got arrested too? The thugs are just screwing around in the abandoned buildings, so they were booked on trespassing. But they didn't know anything else. Why didn't we, like, sort of plant some evidence? Plant some... I don't know, somehow. The brother insisted that he didn't know anything about drugs either. He didn't say a word about the DVDs or anything else. He figured he was just a runaway and he only got into the factory because it wasn't locked, so the police released him after questioning. The police handled the brother and the thugs pretty much as Pop had outlined. Pops had an acquaintance on the police force station nearby, convincing him to make the drug bust with the promise of getting all the credit. He asked him to ignore our escape and take care of the brother as well. The thugs weren't charged with serious crimes, but their fingerprints and identities were probably on record now. As for the other information, the DVDs, Pops apparently passed that on to the police too. I'd like to believe that they'll crack down on drugs and investigate the DVDs. Hiroshi said, but I figure it's kind of a matter of pride for the bar that no one really reacted. We hadn't completely solved everything, but anyway, our current commission was technically settled. Awesome, dude. Where's our congratulatory intercourse? A few days later, things calmed down. Pops found the brother a job at one of his shops, and he called Hiroshi's friend to talk about the particulars. Hi, Twink. A little before the bar opened, God, I really just hate how not clicking no thank you just results in death. And there's just no way to anticipate it. I'm sorry. There's just no way to anticipate it. The little brother showed up. I guess next time I'm just gonna click no thank you, regardless.
なんだか久しぶりだな。
うん、久しぶりだね。乾さんに呼ばれてきたんだ。
あ、こっちだ。
Hiroshi and his friend went into the office together. I tried to follow, but Hiroshi stopped me. No go, huh?
ハル、アイスコーヒー持ってきてくれな。了解。
Pops, Hiroshi, and his friend were in the office. I set down some iced coffees for each of them one at a time. Looks like I came in just as Pops was finishing telling them what happened. I stood in a spot a little ways from the couch after I'd set all the iced coffees down. The three of them didn't really say anything.
いろいろお世話になりました。ありがとうございます。
Hiroshi's friend thanks Pops in a calm tone.
兄の面倒も見ていただけるそうで、何から何まで本当に。
秋山から言い出したことでね。言われなければちょっと思いつかなかったかもしれんので、例なら秋山に言ってくれ。
そうですか。
The friend turned towards Hiroshi.
ありがとう。
いや、俺はちょっと言っただけだから。ぶっちゃけ、五十嵐の兄貴のやる気次第だったし。
そうだね。
家も出て、乾さんのところで働く気になってくれたんだろ？
うん。もううちには帰ってこないって。
そっか。
とにかくお世話になりました。失礼します。
Don't go, Twink. Hiroshi's friend got up, carrying the file Pops gave him with his final report.
あのさ、せっかくだし飲んでいかないか？
ありがとう。でも今日はこのまま帰るよ。
そっか。じゃあ。
うん。落ち着いたらまた来るよ。
I guess we'll never know why he was always holding his hand like what is this? We'll never know why he was always doing this, but you know, that's just one of the mysteries of life. Hiroshi nodded to his friends. Hiroshi hesitated for a moment before opening his mouth.
少しずついい方向に向かうといいな。
His friend cast his eyes down to the floor.
そうだね。
Then his friend quickly bowed to Pops again and left the office. Hiroshi stared at the door his friend left through for a little while. Thus, peace returned to Sotano. As always, I was watching and learning, and Hiroshi was working gracefully behind the counter. Ryu and Maki-chan were also working normally, like the unofficial business never existed in the first place. They've probably been working this way, so it has no effect on the official business, no matter what happens unofficially. Ugh, not the eldritch horror.
またお前か。よく会うね。ここ好き?
This thing must have the weight of a full-grown man for this cawing. The crow tilted its head and I followed suit.
なんか食べる?
I fished around in the bag for the convenience store I'd stopped by on the way here.
って今日はアイスしかないんだよな。アイスは俺が食べるからな。
God, see, how does it become a little baby?
で、こらこら、くちばし突っ込まないの。
何やってんの？お前ってよくカラスと遊んでるよな。
知り合いってとこかな。
知り合いなのか。
Hiroshi stood next to me as I crouched down in the front of the crow. You can just tell he's thinking about, the intercourse we had. Hiroshi glanced at me.
暑くないのか？
暑い。
店に入らないのか？
うん、もうちょっと。
そっか。
ヒロシは？
俺ももう少しだけ。
Of course, the road behind the bar, being in one corner of the city, had a lot of car and foot traffic, but there's some times when there's no traffic, and this was just one of those times. The cicadas buzzed, and I played with the crow as Hiroshi stood next to me, looking slightly away.
じゃあ、これ食べよう。
I fished around in the bag and pulled out the popsicle I just bought. I may have just bought it, but it already feels pretty melted. Summer is so hot, so ice cream melts almost instantly. I took the melting popsicle out of the wrapper and offered it to Hiroshi. Drops of soda-flavored water fell to the ground.
一緒に食べよう。
一緒にってもう溶けてるじゃねえか。
うん。
溶けるだろ？
Hiroshi repeated the same phrase and I repeated the same action, offering it to him again.
うん。だから、はい。
I kept holding out the popsicle. Finally, Hiroshi gave in and crouched down next to me. Hiroshi brought his face closer to the dribbling popsicle and took a bite out of it. The chunk of soda-flavored popsicle made a refreshing crunchy sound as it disappeared into Hiroshi's mouth. After I watched him eat his piece, I took a bite of it myself. The 60-yen popsicle was really cold and delicious. Alright, why are we fading to white? Chapter 3! Wow, we're really making strides here. We're making moves out here. I walked down the stairs to the bar humming. I'm in such a good mood. Now time to work hard today.
おっぱい。
The air in the bar suddenly got cold, but it wasn't because the AC was broken. What? Why did I say boobs? I meant to say good morning, so why?
おっぱい。おっぱい。
God, I hate him. Don't glare at me like that. Maki-chan ignored me indifferently, but not deliberately.
おっぱい。おっぱ、おっぱ、おっぱい。おっぱい、おっぱ、おっぱい。
おい、いい加減にしろよ。
おっぱい。
ふざけんなよ。俺たちは真面目に働いてんだよ。
Dun dun dun. Hiroshi's mad. He's really mad. What should I do?
おう、お疲れ。
Oh, Pops!
おっぱい。
I hugged Pops tight and started crying. Or was about to when he pushed my head away. He didn't let me hug him.
なんだ？やる気がないなら出ていけ。
Pop's eyes looked
おっ
cold.
ぱい。おっぱい。おっぱい。お
Maki-chan pulled me away from Pops and threw me over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. Wait, wait! I don't want to be tossed out like garbage. What? I shot up out of bed at the moment I awoke. I wiped the sweat drenching my body.
夢か。
That was scary. Together with Mom? I don't like this. Is that why he was thinking about Opie's? Because the next case is going to involve a pair of mommy milkers? Ooh. I wiped away the sweat dripping down my chin again. What a horrible dream. I checked the time on my phone. It was 3 a.m. and it was still dark on the other side of my curtains. Today is Monday. Yesterday was Sunday, so the bar wasn't open, and I went to bed early, but I barely slept an hour. I should sleep. I lay back down. Roll. That was scary. What kind of dream was that? I should be careful not to say boobs or any other weird things. Meow meow. I listened carefully. Ugh. I thought so. It was a baby. That's a baby? Okay. That was a cat. I'm meowing out here. Get your baby checked, sis. Whoa. That's not right. Wait, there's a baby next door? I rolled over again. I rolled around in bed. I couldn't sleep. My feet are hot. Time continued to pass as I couldn't sleep. I got up. When I checked the time, about an hour had passed. And the baby next door has been crying the whole time. Is it okay? I got out of bed. I went outside and stood in front of the neighbor's door. I reached out to ring the doorbell. I waited for a bit. No answer. The baby was still crying. Doesn't seem like anyone's trying to pacify it either. I thought for a bit. I decided to go back to my room for the time being. The baby kept crying the whole time. It really is bugging me. I'm worried. I opened the sliding glass door and looked off the side of the balcony. Looks like I can follow the balcony to the neighboring apartment. There was a thin board dividing the balconies that looked easy to break, but I think I can manage without doing that. I followed the balcony walls to cross over onto the neighbor's balcony. Plenty of room to spare, though I'm dead if I fall. A safe landing. I peered into the neighboring apartment from the balcony. Curtains were open, and the door was slightly ajar. The lights weren't on inside, but it was already fairly bright out, so I could see inside pretty well. Oh, a little girl. The little girl was lying on the food on the floor. She wasn't moving at all. I tried knocking on the sliding glass door just to be sure. No response. I tried opening the door slowly. Oh, ew. A raw smell poured out of the window along with the icy air. The AC must have been cranked up too high. It's kind of like something out of a horror movie. I said softly. Huh? When did the baby stop crying? It was next door, right? I thought as I stepped into the room. Ew. You live like this, bitch? It stinks and it's hot. Flies are buzzing around and there were big ones and small ones and about as many as you might see around a corpse. I crouched down next to the little girl near the window. Oh, a baby. Doll, that is. The little girl was holding it. Maybe that's where the crying came from. Little girl, what kind of doll you got set up to permanently cry without any breaks? Little girl wasn't moving, so I put my hand on her neck to check her pulse. Yeah, she's alive. I figured as much. We just give her a little kick right to the face. You play more quietly next time. I figured as much despite the stink and the flies, but her pulse was pretty weak, and her skin was dirty. She was filthy, little gremlin, emaciated and barely breathing. She seems like she's dehydrated or starving. It would be so easy to just kill her and end this and permanently restore silence to my apartment building. It wasn't just a matter of a day or two. She was skin and bones, like she hadn't had enough to eat for a long time now. Rustle. A big fat roach emerged near the little girl's head before running under one of the bags of trash that had just been left lying around beside her. What are you supposed to do in a situation like this? Call an ambulance? Wait, how do you call one again? Maybe I should ask someone. Phone. There's someone in the room.
どうしよ
I looked down at the girl, but I could go back to my apartment to call. But that'd mean leaving her here. Whatever. I picked up the girl from the futon. She's so light. So light she might as well be made of air. I barely felt it when I picked her up. I walked through the room towards the entryway with her in my arms. I'd be worried about dropping her if I went back along the balcony wall. There's really no need to break the divider. I walked through the room packed with garbage. The floor was covered in oil or food or something. I couldn't really tell. Occasionally I'd feel something sticky under my feet. I wonder what this faintly brown sticky substance could be. I took care not to step on any glass. I really should have worn shoes. I opened the lock from the inside and left the apartment. The morning air felt nice. Little girl was alive, but still unresponsive. I walked along to my apartment next door. I went inside. I had unlocked the
う。
door.
とりあえず。
I laid the little girl down on my bed. Ew, she's griming up my bed. We just talked about how dirty this bitch is. And went over to the refrigerator. I took out a sports drink. I turned the mouth of the bottle towards the little girl's lips. No response. I couldn't tell if she was sleeping or unconscious.
ほら、これ飲んで。
I said and put it to her lips. A lot of it was spilling out of her mouth, but her throat was moving just a little, so I guess she was drinking it somehow.
うーん。
I should probably take her to the hospital, but I don't know how to call an ambulance. I know, I'll ask Pops. No wait, Pops isn't here right now. He said he'd be out for a few days, while things were calming down for a bit.
じゃあ。
I picked up my phone and looked at the names of my address book. Who should I call? Who else? I'll call Hiroshi. Brr.
どうした？
The decidedly half asleep Hiroshi answered the phone.
あのね。
I explained the situation to him. Told him that I'd heard a baby crying next door, and it kept on going for over an hour. So I went over to check it out and found a little girl collapsed. And that the room was filthy and that the girl was weak and barely conscious. And that I couldn't bear to leave her like that, so I brought her to my room.
ああ、連れてきちゃったのか。
うん。
あのな、ぶっちゃけ、お前のしたことは結構やばい。
そうなの？
どう考えても誘拐だろ、それ。
そうなるの？
お前がどういうつもりでも、人助けでも、事実としてはそうなるんだよ。
そっか。
うん、まあでも、放置はしたくないってのもわかる。とりあえず救急車呼べよ。
ああ、それそれ。それを聞こうと思ってたんだ。救急車ってどう呼ぶの？
いや、普通に119番。ああ、いや。そういや、お前って記憶。
あ？
救急車は119番。
119って押せばいいの？
そう。やったことは正直に話していいけど、ただの隣人ってことを強調して、それ以上は関わるなよ。もしややこしいことになるようなら、乾さんに連絡しろ。なんとかしてくれるから。
わかった。
しかしお前は、覚えてることと覚えてないことにムラがありすぎないか？
そう？
Hey, at least I didn't forget how to pleasure a man, right, Hiroshi?
まあまあ。
Little bitch.
とりあえず、この電話は切ってすぐに電話しろよ。
わかった。
I hung up and immediately called 119. After that, I just answered their questions. I couldn't remember my address, so I must have been hard on the person on the other end of the line. Not long after I finished the call, an ambulance stopped in front of my apartment complex. They took the little girl away. I didn't really hear anything after that. We're gonna have to clean our bed sheets. She got sports drink all over them too. I arrived in front of the bar after my usual stroll, swinging around a bag from the convenience store. The crow was here too.
Oh?
The crow was in the alley. It was in a different spot from usual. I wonder what's going on. It seems a bit unusual, so I went over to it.
Oh.
It's a cat, a kitten even, lying flat on the burning hot asphalt. It didn't try to run away. Maybe it was just too weak or used to people. Seems like I am running into a lot of weak little ones today. I crouched down next to the crow. Now one human and one crow are looking down at the kitten.
何この猫食べるの
The crow tilted its head. I followed its lead and did the same. I don't really understand. But it doesn't look like it's going to
ま
attack.
あ弱肉強食って言うしね。カラスだって生きていかなきゃなんないんだけど。
I picked up the kitten.
おお
He was so light, his fur was surprisingly clean and fluffy. It felt nice. But his face was covered in eye boogers, and he was sniffling like his nose was stuffed up. His ears were a mess too, full of earwax, and they smelled strange. What? I've never... What do you mean his ears were a mess, full of ears? I've never seen a cat have its ears full of earwax. What does that look like? It was like his eyes were glued shut, ew, and his eyelids were so swollen that he couldn't open them.
ひどい顔。
I saw it and struck his chin with my finger. The kitten didn't try to run, instead he started purring. Whoa, snot's going everywhere.
ちょ冷たっていうか汚いよ。
He's so gross and dirty and adorable. I just started laughing. I thought for a little bit and put the cat on my lap. I glanced over at a crow.
うーん
If I take the cat home with me, the crow will lose out on some food. Well, I guess I don't really know if I was going to eat the cat in the first place. I fished around in my bag.
のゆで卵。
I cracked the egg and started peeling the shell.
これ結構高タンパク高カロリーだし、猫食べるよりいいでしょ。どうせ目玉と内臓くらいしか食べるところないし。ああ、でも卵だから共食いかな。
I offered the peeled egg to the crow.
お
People eat placenta. This is the same thing. It's eating it. Also, ouch, ouch, don't peck my hands. The crow flew away after it finished eating the egg. I guess it was satisfied with that. Alright. I stroked the cat's back and stood up with him in my arms.
お前をゾンビと名付けよ
お前何持ってきてるんだ
Are we allowed to just bring it in here?
正気かよ。動物なんて連れてきて。ここ飲食店だぞ。
I mean, Ren has a point. Hiroshi got mad at me and Ren told me off the second I stepped into the bar. Ryu had a cold expression on his face as he brought a paper bag over. What are you doing to the cat?
これに入れろ。
I put the cat in the bag. He started meowing.
空の段ボールが倉庫にあったから取ってきます。
勤務中もここに置いておくつもりか。
う。ダメかな。
飲み、排泄物、鳴き声、すべて問題だ。
じゃあひとっ走り家に置いてくる。まだ時間あるでしょ。
Ryu glared at me. No?
開店30分前には帰ってこい。
いいんですか？仕事サボる口実にこの猫を連れてきた可能性だってありますよ。
Why would Hara wouldn't do that? He loves coming to work. You don't even know. You don't know how much of a brainwashed capitalist slave he is.
ほら、これに入れろ。
Hiroshi brought out a medium-sized cardboard box. I didn't hesitate. And why would we come to work this early? Talking about how we have so much time before we open. How you coming to work like 2 hours early? I didn't hesitate to take Zombie out of the bag. Then I turned towards Ren and declared,
ゾンビ砲を食らえ。
Okay. Is that snot on its nose? I guess it is.
は？
I held the cat up to Ren's face. Bruh. Oh god. That's exactly what Ren needed. Zombie snot hit Ren right in the face. Alright, Zombie, good job.
最悪だ。
Ren ran off to wash his face in a huff. We didn't try to take any revenge on Zombie. Good, so he's not really a bad guy deep down.
よしよし、よくやった。
I petted Zombie and he started purring. Aw, does he want to pet him too? Wait, did I not read that? Maki-chan came in when Ren left and he picked up Zombie just as I put him in the box. He was just quietly playing with him. Maybe he likes cats. Sexy. We'd love to see it. He looks a little annoyed that Zombie got snot all over him. I've never seen a cat have so much snot. He looks at him a little annoyed that Zombie... Yeah, I read that. He looked upset, but it probably wasn't because he hates cats.
着替えてくださいよ。使ったら服と一緒に渡してください。除菌します。
See, I knew it. Magi-chan's in charge of the food, so Ryu's not keen on him touching a germ-ridden cat. You gave... God, you know, I just Ugh. Actually, they got a case of Donald Trump hands going on during these chibi scenes. Did you see that? I should have said that while it was there, but it just occurred to me as soon as the image disappeared. Ryu gave Maki-chan a moist towel. Maki-chan wiped his face off, then wiped the cat up. I bet Ryu's going to throw that towel away. I guess the poor towel got sacrificed.
じゃあ行ってきます。
おい
First she called out to me just as I was about to leave the box with Zombie in it.
何？
お前その猫飼えるのか？マンションがペット不可だったらまずいぞ。
わかんない。おっさんに聞いてみる。
He's on a trip right now, so I'll have to ask by phone.
ダメだったらどうすんだよ。
逃がす？
その時の気分で無責任に拾うな。
Hiroshi was being sensible, but it doesn't matter to me.
でも俺が一日面倒を見たおかげで誰かに拾われるかもしれないじゃん。俺に見つかったのは運が良かったんだよ。
I put in the box with the cat in it.
俺が拾わなかったら別の人に拾われてたかもしれないし、一日生き延びたせいで悪い人に捕まって死ぬよりひどい目に遭うかもしれないけど、でもそんなの考えてたら何もできないし。
お前時々すごい達観してるっていうか驚く。
そう？
ああ、うん、まあでもとりあえずお前の考えてることは分かった。一方的に攻めて悪かったな。
なんか俺言われたっけ？
忘れたのかよ。
3歩歩けば大体忘れるから。
歩いてもねえだろ。本当に適当だな。
はい。
The door opened while we were chatting and Pops came in. Oh, he's back.
おかえり。
I ran over to Pops and showed him the box.
ん？なんだ？
ゾンビ。
ゾンビ？
子猫です。外で拾ったみたいで。
猫か。
拾ったから飼いたいんだけど、俺の部屋って飼っていいの？
一応飼えるけどな。
Pops frowned a bit.
でもお前、金はあるのか？とりあえず病院に連れて行かなきゃならんだろう。いろいろと買うものもあるだろうし、猫まで養う義理はないぞ。
大丈夫。おっさんにもらった分はほとんど取ってあるし、お給料ももらったし。
ちゃんと自分で責任を持つんだぞ。
はい。
Alright then. Huh? Zombie's gone. I looked around and saw Maki-chan feeding him. I really can't take my eyes off you, Maki-chan.
置いてくるならさっさと行け。
Oh, right. I walked over to Maki-chan who was playing with Zombie, and Pops raised his hand.
俺が持っていく。
じゃあ仕事終わったら、おっさんの部屋に迎えに行くから。
今日は何時までだ？
何時までだっけ
？4時。
Right, Renren's back at work, so our shifts changed. If I get off at 4, after I clean up and head home, it'll be past 5 at the earliest.
帰るの5時過ぎになっちゃうよ。おっさん寝てるんじゃない？適当な時間に俺の部屋に勝手に置いといてもいいよ。
その鍵はどうするんだ？開けたままってわけにいかんだろう。起きてるから取りに来い。
うん。
Pops took Zombie from Maki-chan. Maki-chan had a blank expression on his face, but he seemed vaguely disappointed.
じゃあな。
Pops left.
さっさと準備しろ。遅れを取り戻せ。
はーい。
I nodded energetically and got to work. I went to get the cleaning implements to clean outside first. Gotta work hard today. What a mess. We live a mess of a life. Anyway, I'll end our episode of No Thank You here. It's gone on for a while now. And next time, we'll figure out what's happening with this dirty, grimy gremlin girl that dirtied our bed. And I guess we might also have fun with Zombie. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.